everyone! If you're looking for the perfect daily vlogging camera, then this is the video for you because I have 3 different cameras at varying price points. We're going to be testing out the image quality side by side for each of them and talking about the pros and cons. And I have this fun little contraption to be able to film with all of them at the exact same time. So the first camera we have is the LUMIX S9. This is our full frame camera with an interchangeable lens mount. The second camera we have is the Osmo Pocket 3, which is a 1-inch type sensor camera. And finally, we have the iPhone 17 Pro Max. This is a camera that fits in your pocket that you have with you pretty much all the time. So I thought these 3 would be the perfect ones to compare. So I want to start off by showing you the focal length comparison of each of these cameras. So I've set the cameras up here on a tripod so we can take a look at that. Looking at all these frames here, you'll see that the LUMIX and the Osmo look the most similar. So the LUMIX with its compact zoom lens is at 18mm. This is the widest it can go, whereas the Osmo is at 20mm. So it's just that little bit more cropped in. The iPhone with the 1x main camera is 24mm. So this is going to be the most zoomed in lens, but I do also like filming a lot with the 0.5x ultra wide camera. So now the tables have completely turned and the iPhone's going to be the widest frame that we've got here because now at 0.5x it's got a full frame focal length equivalent of 14mm. So it's going to be nice and wide in the frame there. So the Osmo does have these little lens attachments that you can do. So this one is a wide angle attachment that makes the lens 15mm. So I'm going to pop it on there because it's magnetic. So now in order, this is what we have. We have 14mm, 15mm, 18mm. Let's check out each of these cameras for vlogging. So I'm going to hold it out with my hand. This is what I would normally do when I'm vlogging. I'll either have like a little tripod coming out of here or something around the side like I do right now. So this is what the LUMIX S9 looks like at 18mm with my hand completely outstretched. So you can see lots of the frame, it looks really nice. Next up, let's look at the Osmo Pocket 3, which is at 20mm at the moment. So it's just a little bit more zoomed in than the S9, but it's still a very nice wide frame that we're looking at here. Next up, we have the iPhone 17 Pro Max, and this is using the 1x main camera. So this is gonna be the most zoomed in one. You'll see quite the difference now that we've jumped over to this view. And we're back on the iPhone 17 Pro Max, but this time I'm using the 0.5x camera. So now this is gonna be the widest one out of all of them. This is quite heavy too, so my hand is shaking a little bit, so we'll see how strong the IBIS is when I'm doing that. One last thing I want to do is also get a vlogging shot with the iPhone selfie camera as well, because I have been using mostly the back camera for this entire video, just because the back camera is that bit wider and it's also higher quality. Moved here into this brighter backlight because I do want to see how each of these cameras handle different kinds of lighting scenarios as well. But right now we're going to do a vlogging shot. So we're going to walk around and see what IBIS looks like on each of these cameras. We are starting off with the LUMIX S9. So this is with image stabilizer just set to normal or standard and no other options switched off. We actually have quite a few options for stabilization in the S9, so I will show you some of those in a little bit. Next up, we have the Osmo Pocket 3. So this camera is actually on a gimbal, as you saw in the previous shot. So again, I'll walk in the exact same place and you can see what that looks like. Next up, we have the iPhone 17 Pro, and I'm using the main 24mm camera. So the iPhone does have mechanical IBIS, which I think is great, and I find that it does look really smooth. All 3 of these cameras, honestly, are really smooth when you're walking around. Last but not least, the iPhone 17 Pro again, but this time with the 0.5x ultra wide camera. This should look about the same as the main camera in terms of IBIS as I'm walking around. Where things get really interesting is when you want to start zooming with each of these. So I feel like the Osmo is the most limited when it comes to this because it doesn't have any native zoom. It only does digital zoom. I'm going to tap on here and then zoom into 2x. That's the maximum that I can do. Next, we have the LUMIX with the 18-40. Again, one of the benefits of using a full frame camera with an interchangeable lens mount is that if you want more reach, you can always just change out the lens. But for this video, we're going to stick to the 18-40. So we're at 18mm right now, and I'm going to zoom all the way into 40 just so we can see how much reach we're getting. So as you can see, it's quite similar now to the Osmo. Now we're going to do the iPhone. So 1x is 24mm, and iPhone also has a digital crop per se, which is the 2x camera, and this is going to give you the full frame equivalent of 50mm. So it does have a native lens of 4x, which is going to give you the full frame equivalent of 100mm, which is quite a lot. So we're going to change it and see what that looks like. Something that I do really love about the LUMIX S9 is that it does have a couple of tricks up its sleeve. So one of them is the fact that it's got hybrid zoom. So if you don't want to buy extra lenses or carry extra lenses with you while you're traveling, you can switch this on. So now my 18-40 becomes an 18-62. So we've got a bit of extra focal reach, and now it should match the iPhone 2x camera. All right, let's get some B-roll. So I want to talk about the pros and cons of each of these cameras because I'm actually quite fond of all 3 of them, and I do use them heavily in my work and also my personal life life when I'm traveling. So let's start with the iPhone. One of the big pros for this, it is always in your pocket. You've always got it with you. So it's super easy to just whip it out, take some photo, take some video. It's always ready to go. You don't need to attach any lenses or filters. So I really like that this one's super easy to work with. I do like that even though it's so compact and convenient, it does still have some pro features like being able to shoot log video and also raw photo. A couple of downsides though about the phone is that you can't really change the lens. The ergonomics are not that good. So if you're going to be spending a lot of time heavily shooting with it, it can heat up. You can't take photos as quickly as possible. The battery's going to die pretty quickly, which means you need to put it on charge and it's going to overheat. So the ergonomics and usability are not that good compared to the other two options we have. One thing I immediately notice, even just on the back of the screen here, is that the depth of field really varies between cameras. So the S9, even at f4.5, has such a nice shallow depth of field. The Osmo Pocket 3 is the next one up. And then finally, the iPhone has the most depth of field where everything is kind of just sharp in the frame. If you want to see more cinematic mode stuff from the iPhone, I did also do a portrait photo shoot where I compared the iPhone to a pro camera. So I'll leave that link down below if you want to watch it. Speaking of filming in cinematic, we can do slow motion with all three of these cameras. So I've got the iPhone at 4K 100 FPS and there's no crop to the frame. So it's the same as filming at 25 FPS. I've got the Osmo at 4K 50p, which again, there's no crop. It's the same as filming at 25p. The S9, on the other hand, when I'm filming at 25p, you've got a full frame shot, but when I change it over to 50p, it's going to give you an S35 or APS-C crop. So it's quite a significant crop to the frame. Next, we have the Osmo, which I really enjoy using quite a lot. This is good, I think, if you don't want all your footage to be on your phone. So for me personally, when I'm traveling or I'm getting behind the scenes footage of my photo shoots, I don't want it to be crowding my phone or have my phone always be full because I'm shooting so much on it. So that way, it's nice to have a dedicated device like this where you can have an SD card and you know all your footage that you need is on this device. A couple of other bonus points about the Osmo is that it does have the best stabilization thanks to the physical gimbal that it has, and it is the only one out of all three cameras that can actually track you. So what you can do is set this up on a tripod, set it to track you, and you can walk around and it moves with you. So I use that a lot when I'm filming like behind the scenes footage. So that's really handy. Last but not least, it is also teeny tiny. So it also very easily fits in your pocket. You can also put it in your handbag as well. So it's very similar in terms of a phone, in terms of portability. And we have the LUMIX S9, which is our full frame camera, which you are getting the best quality out of this camera because of its larger sensor compared to the other two. There are also so many benefits of using a pro camera, such as ergonomics. You've got a lot of buttons, you've got a lot of controls of things that you can do. This camera also films in 6K open gate as well. So you can film horizontal and vertical at the same time if you do socials and also long form and short form content. So you can do that at the same time. It does have the interchangeable lens that I've mentioned. So I've used the S9 with a whole bunch of professional lenses, not just this small compact zoom. I've used it with 1.8 primes as well. I do know that a lot of people are not going to want to be carrying around a camera, even though the S9 is really teeny tiny for what it is. I do also have a cage on it at the moment because I do like attaching accessories, but I've got a shot of it here without the cage so you can see just how small it is. This is also a really good option if you're someone thinking of doing photography or videography more professionally. A camera like this, like the S9, is a bit more of a gateway into being able to do that, whereas with the Osmo and the phone, you would have to then also purchase a professional camera like this to be able to achieve that kind of work. A downside of filming with the back camera of the iPhone, even though it is higher quality, is that you can't usually see yourself because the screen is on this side of the phone. But I actually bought this cheap little screen, and I'll link it down below in the description, so you can actually see what you're filming. I'll get you in the frame so you can actually see what it looks like. We're going to do an audio test now. So far you've been listening to my lav mic. Now I'm going to switch over to the internal microphone of the LUMIX S9 and I'll talk a little bit so you can get a feel for what that all sounds like. Next up, I'm going to switch over to the internal microphone of the iPhone. So again, I'm going to keep talking. We have an absolutely beautiful golden hour going on right now. I'm loving what it looks like. And finally, I'm going to switch over to the microphone of the Osmo Pocket 3, which is actually this wireless mic that it's connected to right here. And again, I'll continue talking. There's like a few birds flying around, but there's not a breeze, nothing. It's like a perfect afternoon right now for audio microphone testing. So all three of these actually have the option of shooting raw photos. So I'm gonna get some photo comparisons for us to look at as well. And this is the perfect spot because we have so many colors to look at. First, I'll get a shot on the S9, which is gonna be the most ergonomic one to take photos on out of all three. Next, I'll take photos on the iPhone, which I would say is like the second most ergonomic. If you're shooting in RAW, you can't take quite as many photos one after another. Finally, we have the Osmo, which I would say is the weakest of all three to take photos. This is as fast as I can shoot. I have to wait quite a few seconds in between each time I press the shutter. But we'll take a look at all those three side by side, plus a couple of portraits as well. That is all I have for today's video. Let me know in the comments which one you prefer out of these three. But as always, thank you so much for watching. I'm making videos every single week, so I'll see you all next time. Bye.